Hey, I'm back. Got myself some licorice. She hums to herself and nods empathetically, apparently satisfied with the result. She takes a colorful wafer of some sort out of a small container and crouches down on it vigorously. What are you eating? Wasn't asking, I was just wondering what those were. So from the way you're showing them off, I was pretty sure you wanted me to ask. I got a strange sense of deja vu from her phrasing just now. What was it? One of those large advertisements that put up inside trains? As I don't write them often, the few I've seen after stand out in my memory. Right, they reprinted this idiot article from a women's magazine about how to make men fall for you. Forcefully treat them coldly at first in order to create a contrast of affection when you make your move. So you're supposed to be a tsundere? Michiru covers her mouth with her left hand and staggers backward in apparent shock. Her action is a bit puzzling, but I think I probably hit the bullseye. I see, I think I understand. You're playing a tsundere in an attempt to attract male attention? Hold on for a second. What was that? But there's still some points I'm not clear on, like that hair. Why are you bleaching it? That is not natural bleach. That is not natural. I know full well that isn't. Because I was a born blonde. Then my hair turned brown from remaining indoors for a long period of time. Please, a genuine blonde has a more natural tone, not that artificial looking gold color I hone a few. That's so. Next time I happen to visit America, remind me to pick you up some better hair dye. So as I was saying, why bleach it? And that hairstyle is a little odd too. It's not one I've seen that often. Yeah, that hairstyle I'm actually pretty used to because my sister randomly puts on those type of hairstyles at random. She's really random with her hair. The way what it has to be. That doesn't explain your hair. Michiru begins to mumble her words under her breath as if to immortate the curse's power. You are cursed by the tsundere. Even though I may not look like it, I took a dairy test before to see what type of dairy I am. I am a kudere, which if you actually met me in person, I will be cold to you at first, but then act kindly. I don't know how that started, but that's me. answer your guys' question. Her original hair color was, I believe, a brunette. Was it brunette or just another brown? I'm not sure. Brown and brunette look so similar. She has to describe the tsundere curse in the first person seems a bit strange, but pointing that out would prolong things, so I leave it be. I don't even recognize you as a one. No, that is not a genuine tsundere look or action. At least supposed to be thankful she didn't choose yandere, because that would be freaking creepy. I don't want another freaking If you've seen, fucking Future Diary. Nature jabs out a index finger in my direction and... What would a person say to this? I'm not sure. As she runs out of breath in granted style, the curtain finally drops on Michiru one woman show. The echoing of her ragged breathing is the only sound in the otherwise silent classroom. Exactly 30 seconds pass. It's tough being a tsundere, got it. I'm not sure if that wasn't what she was looking for, or if she just lost the will to go on, but Michiru glares at me while emitting a sound reminiscent of the menu malfunctioning industrial machine. Anyway, let's get on, Michiru. Yeah, it goes without saying, I plan to get along just fine on my own. It really isn't easy being a tsundere, is it? Making fun of Michiru. Best stuff every day. Finally breaking down, Michiru begins flinging waste paper permanent markers. What? Oh, flinging waste paper, permanent marker, and anything else lying around in my direction in an attempt to drive me off. Are you crying? Sorry, my bad. I remember Noel playing it, but then he stopped because originally Fruit of Grisaia was not to be allowed to do Let's Plays until recently. Oh, wait, I blacked out for a moment right there. I didn't read that. My bad. And luckily for you guys, I don't think I can fast forward. So, 5 minutes before the start of class, practically the moment after we entered the classroom, Amin and Sachi arrive. The tsundere from earlier is looking at me with naked aggression, but noticing the arrival of the others. Resuming the performance in question, she promptly calls out to them. The instant her greeting is returned, Michiru runs over noisily and shakes her head in front of Sachi.
どうかしたんですか？サチ、あんたそれやめてって言ったでしょ。ミチル様っての。でもこれはミチル様が絶対にそう呼べって言ったから。だからあれはその冗談で。一度物理フォーマットしてもう一回言います。
Michiru, while glancing over in my direction for some reason, desperately he entreats Sachi. Ame leaning on a desk seems to be occupied with trying to hold in her laughter. Oh, you made Sachi cry. Shame on you. The instant Michiru speaks, Sachi's tears abruptly vanish as if someone threw a switch. Michiru watches her cautiously, sweating heavily. And we're back to square one! Oh, I can't tell if that's snot or there's no way those are tears. There is no fucking way. I don't know what that is. Michiru staggers her way back to her seat with all the fatality of a limb rag. Feeling alright, Michiru-sama? Sorry, just wanted to give it a try. Michiru collapses weakly onto her desk. And Machina, lip-sync voice sounds from the rear of the classroom. She's like she might not be used to my presence yet, judging from the way she's beeline straight for Amen. Hides herself behind her and steals glimpses at me. Appreciate it, Michiru. Again, I played this game before, yet my mentality refuses for me to act any way else. Keep up the good work. Apart from the large woman, this bunch seems to be present quite a variety of communication difficulties. Nothing but fantastically normal students here, huh, Principal? As if in response to my sarcasm with the chime of the opening bell. A perfectly normal principal appears before my eyes. Hey, wait a second, there's only 4. As we arrived at the beginning of the school day, I noticed a difference from the information I heard yesterday. Standing at the podium, the principal noticed the irregularity at a glance. Her tone seems to be asking if anyone's familiar with the circumstances. So I need to check something. Okay, this would be part 4. Apparently I'm not the only one with questions about our lone trot. You're strangely tolerant.
出席を取ります。
From an open window, the scent of the tides flow into the room. Perhaps because of the walls and steel fences surrounding us on all sides, it's not always easy to remember that this place is in fact close to the sea. In contrast to the breeze, in the blue sky's intimidations of freedom, the gray of those jutting fences speak of denial and rejection. While my classmates raised their voices energetically, I passed the time staring into the sky. School life, huh?
ここが視聴覚教室です。すべての席にリスニングとヒアリングの機材が揃えられていて、語学学習にも適しています。
Looks that way. I can tell from a glance that this place is well equipped. Using the time after the homeroom period, I'm getting a small introduction to the school's facilities from Sachi. Normally this would be the principal's job, but she seems to be occupied with official duties, so I ended up getting another tour from our class rep.
ライブラリはすべて外部にあるサーバーと高速回線でつながっていて、いつでも短時間で検索し鑑賞することができます。だからここには DVD とかブルーレイとかは一本もないんです。
I don't really watch Blu-rays much, but why not DVD? What? Which would make checking a movie out impossible, I guess.
そうですね。あまねさんはそれで前に残念がってました。
Sachi smiles a bit wearily as she speaks. Most of the stuff is probably in that pamphlet somewhere, but Sachi's explanations are comparatively to the point, clear and easy to understand. Seems she's actually quite intelligent.
過去に放送されたテレビ番組も全部ではありませんが、鑑賞することができます。ないものについては請求して承認されればサーバーに入れてもらえますので。
Looks like they weren't that sloppy on the casting after all.
何のドラマの話ですか?
School drama currently being broadcast.
以上になります。
Having completed a general review of the school's facilities, Sachi's explanation comes to an end. Thanks, it was a big help.
いえ、これもクラス委員の仕事ですから。
I guess so.
それより風見さんはまだここに残
Yeah,
る。
there's still a classmate I haven't met yet, after all.
そうですね。
Hearing my response, Sachi's brisk tone gives way to a hesitant mumble. What?
いえ、なんでもないです。すみません。
After a brisk bow, she quickly runs down the hallway. Did I trigger a death flag just now? I don't think there's a single person in the world who wouldn't worry about that kind of ominous foreshadowing. Well, that might be an overstatement. There are some pretty carefree people out there, and I'm just not one of them. Yeah, I always end up with a death flag, so... Seems like it would be best to be on my guard, or more so than usual. The light flooding in through the windows have shifted from overhead to my side. It won't be long until the sun sets. After parting from Sachi, I'll walk the empty hallway alone. My surroundings are very nearly soundless, thanks to my habitual quiet footsteps. However, inside the stillness, I sense a definite presence at my destination. She finally shows up. I hear a faint sound from the interior of the previous silent classroom. With that confirmation, I slowly open the door. The moment I enter the classroom, tension fills the air. Behind a window seat desk in the middle of the classroom, a chair rattles as its occupant turns to face me. My immediate expression of the girl, she doesn't appear particularly friendly. Yo. While it might not be the most polite first greeting, I call out casually as I approach in order to demonstrate my lack of malicious intent. Sakaki Yumiko, right? Her expression doesn't change. Sitting on the chair, absolutely stock still, she stares fixedly at me. I'm Kazumi Yuji. I'm a new student here as of today. Come to a halt in front of her desk. So I'll be your classmate as well, it seems. Pulling out a chair from the desk in front of her, I sat down. At the moment, we're both about a meter apart. Nonetheless, the woman stares at me so intensely that she seems to be forgetting to breathe. Rather than staring, her expression could probably be more accurately described as glaring. Wasn't able to introduce myself in the morning. I heard you would probably be around in the evening. Kept talking regardless, but no response is forthcoming. But she's got a psychological problem with men like Makina. But then again, she doesn't try to run when I approach her. Changed my position on the seat to face her directly. Straddling the chair, I leaned forward slightly. The motion was closed the 1 meter gap between us down to 70 centimeters. I'd like to at least confirm your identity. Hey. As I declare her refusal to acknowledge my existence, the woman stands from her seat and briskly moves to the exit classroom. How about at least responding to me? I follow her immediately. The woman opens the rear door just before enough for one person to pass and tries to slip away outside. Hey. Calling out again, I try to follow her through that gap. In that moment, the woman forcefully slams the door shut. Clearly closed it knowing full well I was trying to follow. Her expression betrays her surprise. Maybe she'd been expecting me to get my hand caught in the door or back off from it slammed in my face. Instead, the door she attempted to close slide firmly held open by my hand. An outcome she apparently hadn't been prepared for. You could have broken my hand, you know that. Although she's the one who's trying to shudder my fingers. She's glaring at me like I'm a bad guy here. What exactly did I do to deserve this from someone I just met? I'm just looking for an introduction. Opening the halfway shut door, I take a step forward. She doesn't back down. Quite the greeting. I stopped the motion of her hand about 5 centimeters before its target. It isn't the most effective block, but for the purpose of diffusing her reckless hostility, an easily comprehensible action seems necessary. I expected something of the sort, but you favor the classical slap to the face, I see. What the hell? Hold up. Is that Chucky? It's fine, I think.
I can barely see right now.
Also, I'm surprised that you didn't ask Monique why is she 2 hours early.
Oh, because the stretching was going on. So we were allowed to leave early if we wanted to. Oh my god, after first recess, Miss Formas is like, if you want to leave, just call now. And then, like, literally, the biggest group ever just went to the office and called home. The reason we would have left like 2 hours ago, but we were waiting for her dad.
Yeah.
To come back to us. So we couldn't do anything. And we can't leave.
That happened. Maintaining my grasp on the woman's wrist, I stare her down at short range. As for the woman, she's staring right back, her eyes open-wide with shock, completely still. Well then, let me ask you again. The strong orange glow of the evening sun illuminates the classroom. Are you Sakaki Yumiko? Expression hostile as ever, the woman slowly opens her mouth. With an air of slight resignation, but clearly unwavering in her refusal of any relation with me, she speaks. Okay, good to meet you. As the evening sun fell behind a cloud, its light dimmed in the classroom filled with shadow. With The sound of Yumiko's breath and the faint roar of the waves from beyond the walls. The curtain was raised on my normal student life. And I'm not gonna have copyright again. The period of the school day before classes begin is fundamentally blank, meaningless time. Also, please ignore the chattering that's going on over there. They say it's always best to arrive 20 minutes early, but preparing for the class takes 30 seconds at most. After that, there's not much to do other than wander around awkwardly. Still, I always imagine school life as a fairly relaxed experience. A part of me was actually wondering if a little aimless downtown might be enjoyable in its way. But unfortunately... What? Again? That slightly pitiful fantasy was shattered all too quickly. Of course, I'm not going to break a sweat from any attack of Yumiko's, but being slashed with a blade, isn't that kind of an unpleasant breather I had in mind? Isn't the kind of pleasant breather I had in mind? I guess she had thought it a particularly well-timed attack, judging from the shock she directly at me as she catches her breath. Of course, given the conspicuous clicking sound of her only audible footsteps, she might be as well been screaming, "Here I come," but time moves at half speed in my immediate vicinity. What are we, the Flash now? Giving a straight answer would be a pain, so I pull something out of my ass. I was just screwing with you. Well, it is possible to make time slow around you if your reaction speed and time are in chorus in basically the same concept of sword catching. Your time almost appears slowing down. Also, the same sensation when two swordsmen clasp blades. It's like time immediately slows down until the blades actually hit. Which is called superhuman awareness, I believe. There's a theory on it, which goes into your flight or fight response, but it's a long theory. I'm not going to talk about it. Maybe it's just me, but I think trying to stab your classmate is somewhat worse. This one's copy of a criminal code seems to be missing the page of attempted murder. But judging from the way she surely brought my nonsense, she unexpectedly airheaded. Maybe a bit naive would be a nicer way to put it. There's only 6 of us here. It would be harder to forget. Still glaring at my direction, Yumiko retracts the blade of her box cutter. You would think she would use a switchblade, but apparently she uses a box cutter. Or a butterfly knife. Any snorting in displeasure leaves with a flutter of her skirt. When I enter the classroom, Amen strikes up a conversation. I guess the story of the knife assault in question has already spread around the classroom, as my problem with Yumiko seems to be common knowledge. Not like she's trying to do me any harm, but I can't say I'm enjoying this. In our first encounter, I approached the stubbornly silent Yumiko in a physical sense. The outcome was her initial act of rejection. And also, next part.